Hey everyone, Mr. Schultz here, and we're talking about transformations. More specifically, we're going to be talking about rigid transformations. So let's write that in. Rigid transformations. Make sure you put your first and last name at the top, as well as your date and your period. So let's talk about rigid transformations. Now we're either going to have a rotate, a turn. So let's write this down. Rotate equals turn. A translation, which is a shift or slide, or a reflection, which is going to be a flip. Flip it over the line. That's it. So we're going to be rotating 90 degrees. So the first one says, hey, rotate it 90 degrees. So I know that it's going to go this way, counterclockwise. So if I look at this, what I kind of want to do is I'd want to turn my head to the right. Now, if this was like a piece of paper, I could literally move it. Now, looking at it, if I turn to the right, now I understand this is going to be my Y right here, and this is going to be my X right here. Like if I just turn my head to the right and look, I see that, hey, this L prime should be 3, 0. So I go over here and I put 3, 0. So this is my L prime. I turn my head again and I look at my J. If I turn my head to the right, it looks like there's going to be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, -5. So J is going to be 2, -5. So now I go 2, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I put J prime right here. And then my last one, if I turn my head and I'm like, all right, here's my origin right here, and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Z prime is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Z prime. And so now I can just connect the dots. So this is a 90-degree counterclockwise about the origin. Now, there are some tricks to it. The one trick I just used is like just turn your head depending on which way you're going. Understand like which way should it go, because if you turn your head to the left, it would make it move the other direction. Now, there is a rule, and I'll post it just now. So give me a second. So here's the rule right here. We have our J was -5, -2, and then J prime becomes 2, -5. Now, there is a rule for 90, 180, 270, or 90 degrees clockwise. So for 90 degrees counterclockwise, you're going to take the X value, move it over, so this -5 for the J now becomes the new Y value, and its old Y, the old Y is going to be times -1. Or, turn your head and see it that way. All right, so next up, translation, 4 units to the right and 1 down. All right, well, I like to just, do each one. I'm going to move F, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 down. Here's F right here. I'm going to move G, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 down. I'm going to move Y, 1, 2, 3, 4, and move it 1 down. Now there's a slight problem. Technically, it's not FGY, it's going to be F prime, G prime, and Y prime. Each one of these is a new location, a new point. This is a transformation that has happened that has changed it. All right, let's go on. So 3, a translation, 1 unit to the right and 1 up. Okay, well, T is now going to be here. So if we just look at each one of these, we can see that, hey, something's going to happen. And something is going to move this shape. We can draw it in and show this, like so. And it looks like, now maybe I draw it wrong, but for the most part, they're going to have the same shape unless we draw it totally wrong. So we just did translation, a slide. It's this one slid up and to the right. We did rotation, which is a turn. And now we're going to do reflection across the x-axis. So number one thing we do in math is count. What are we counting? So number 4, reflection across the x-axis. So if we're looking at this, I like to see, all right, here's the x-axis. So I'm going to do let's go pink shape all the way across. Pink shape. I am literally flipping every point over. So C is 1 away from this line. So then C prime is going to be right here. J prime is going to be 1 away. Now M prime is 2, so then I just go another 2 up. Now I go M prime. K is 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I just draw my shapes. I connect it. Let's go blue. It's actually nice if we could do different colors sometimes. It pops, makes it look pretty, but for the most part, this is the work. All right, let's pause it for right now. All right, so next questions, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 are going to be, what's the rule? So I'll tell you the rule, and I want you to be more specific. Is it what specifically happens? So this one is going to be a slide. So number 5 is a slide. So go ahead and write down that it's a translation. And how does it go? Does the X move anything? Yeah, it moves to the right 1. Right 1. Now technically we won't see anything else because it doesn't move up or down, and we can leave it blank, leave it alone. Now we can look to see how did the previous problems talk about it. Translation, 1 unit right and 1 unit up. All right, well, we have to go back and we have to probably write down unit. Right 1 unit. All right, number 6. Now it looks like it flipped. It flipped over something. And if I draw this point right here, I'm going to need to count. So I know this is a reflection, but it's a reflection over what? Well, each one of these, the y's change, so we're not going to have y, so it's a reflection over x equals, and just count, 1, 2, 3. So over x equals 3, it's a reflection, that's it. Let's go on. All right, I'll have you go ahead and answer the following, but I'll give you a hint. The first one right here is going to start with a RE, and I'll let you finish it off. And the next one is going to start with RO, and I'll let you finish it off. All right, the last ones we have right here is it's basically graph it and then do it. So if I do number 9, B is going to be at -2, 0. So B is right here. I'm going to leave it blank for now. C is at -4, 3. Z is at -3, 4. And X is at -1, 4. So what I do is I go over here and I put X, Z, C, and B. And then I draw in the shape. I'm like, all right, let's go red this time. So my quadrilateral right here is going to move. And how is it going to move? Well, I look at it and I see that it's going to move clockwise. Well, a clock, goes like this. So I'm going to want this guy to go over here. He's going to move clockwise. And how many is going to go? Well, there's 90 right here. This would be 90. This would be 180. And this would be 270. So I want B to be right here. It's because he's moving. So if he's on the x-axis, he's now going to be on the y-axis right here. Now, if it was counterclockwise, it'd be going the other way. Like, hey, this is now counterclockwise going this way. And so B would be right here. But, we're not going counterclockwise. We're going clockwise. So I'm going to turn my head so it looks like this Y right here is going to be my new B. And so when I do that, I can simply just write out what each one is going to be. C is now going to be 3. So this is 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So C prime is 3, 4. I turn my head again and I look at Z. Well, this is going to be 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. 4, 3. 4Z. And then X prime is going to be 4, 1. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw those in and see if I'm right. C is at 3, 4. Z is at, so C prime. Z is at 4, 3. Then X is at 4, 1. I'm going to use my shapes right now just so that it looks, does it look about the same? Does it look like I just turned it? And yeah, it does. Looks like I just turned it 90 degrees clockwise. All right, guys. So you have this, and then I'm going to give you, so go ahead and finish the rest of these. Oh, wait. I actually love teaching about number 10, so let's do number 10. I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to have you draw it in. All right, so let's pause it. All right, guys. So I love this one. So the rule for this one was, hey, if it's x, y, it's now going to become y, x. But there's a different rule. Let me pause and draw in the shapes, the points. Let's go. All right, guys. So here's my drawing. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to have my reflection. I'm going to draw my reflection right now. So my reflection, if you look at the rule, my x's are now going to switch with my y's. But there's a different way. How far from the line are you? So this K, I'm going to go 1 diagonal and half. So right here, I'm going to draw it in. 1 and a half. So I'm going to go half and a 1. And K is right here. So instead of -2 or -5, -2, it's now -2, -5. So my A would be now 1, -4. Let's see if that's right. Let's do the count across the diagonals. So 1, 2, and a half. So a half, 1, 2. Hey, look, that's 1, -4. And so this is going to be my A prime. So I, it's now going to become -1, 0. Let's see if that works. So I is right here. So wait, 0, -1. Oh, I think I switched up my J and my I right here. So let's fix that. This is J, and this is I. There we go. All right, so I, it's half and a half right here. Well, is that -1, 0? Why, yes, it is. So here's my I prime. And the final one should be -4, -2 because that switches, does the little switcheroo right there. So if I go to J, it's going to be 1 diagonal across. So it's going to be 1 diagonal across right here. And now I have my new shape that is reflected over the line x equals y. So there is a rule for every single one of these, but there's also a trick. How far from the line, and then flip it over that far away from the line. All right, guys, for your homework, you're going to draw your own graph and put them on the next page. Now, I'll help you out for just a second. I'm going to pause it. All right, guys, so for your homework, I want you to do the following. I want you to rotate, reflect, or translate the following. So what you have to do is I put some graphs on here. Go ahead and plot those points and then try to do what it says. Either rotate, reflect it, or do a translation. All right, guys. So make sure you finish this, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.